What's up, everybody? I think we're live. I'm trying to be live. Trying. See if we can get everything set up here right. What's going on? Look at me. I'm jigging. Who knew? I finally couldn't take it anymore and ventured out here this morning. I didn't go far. I walked out. I brought all my stuff, but I didn't set up my shanty. I've been out here a couple hours now. I drilled 3 different sets of holes. Started in pretty shallow. I guess the first thing is, got 4 3/4 inches of ice. I measured it as soon as I cut through. Where I am, it's all dark, clear ice. It looks good and sturdy. There's people scattered all the way over. I'm on the south shore. There's the guys scattered all the way out to the islands. I don't see anybody east of the islands because I can see what looks like a couple different ridges where stuff's all that ice been crumpled up. It's been up and down and then froze and not froze. I haven't seen much. I didn't see anything. Fished the first 2 holes, the first 2 sets of holes for probably 30 minutes each. Started up on top of the drop off and then worked my way down. I didn't see anything in the first 2 stops at all. I've got my camera down, my Markham, and I do not have my fish finder with me. I'm waiting on my my transducer and cable and cradle. I don't even have my new rods with me yet. I'm fishing one of my old homemade rods, affectionately known as the Red Baron. And so I've had perch come through a couple times, and I've caught one, but I've only seen, right directly on camera, I've only seen probably 10 fish. And what did I catch that fish on? Half-ounce I1 blade bait. I got 3 rods rigged up. I got a small, medium, and a large. Small, I got a single tungsten jig on with a couple spikes in case all I saw was perch. I've got a medium with a small Nils Master jigging minnow. Sorry, not Nils Master, AC Shiner. Looks like a jigging wrap, except it's the shape of a AC Shiner. And I'll show you. I got them right here. So there's that little tungsten jig with a couple spikes on it. There's that little AC Shiner with a minnow head on it. I fished both of those and nothing. I put that I1 down there to see if maybe I could call something in, and I had the gold with the black scale on it originally. Shit, I didn't jig it, I don't know, 5 times and perch come flying in. He didn't stay, and then I switched colors and I've had them come in on it multiple times, and the one that I did catch, they came in and went right straight for it. There was 3 of them and the middle one got it. There was no hesitation whatsoever. You guys coming in. How'd you guys make out? All right? You can't really hear me. I was asking them how they did, but they're heading in and it's fairly early, so I guess maybe nothing. I have no idea. They could have killed them. There's a couple other groups packing up and there's guys moving around, and I assume if it was hot and heavy, then everybody would be locked in for the day, but I know as soon as I finish this, I'm getting out of here myself. Be cool, like in the boat when we do a morning report, catching one on camera. I'm just not seeing them, and it's funny. I brought my auger with me, my hand auger, my big drill that I usually just have the adapter that goes into my drill, my hammer drill. I left it on the job Friday and didn't even think about it. So my shoulder's fine and feels good, and I've been using my left arm to drill with, but if I had my drill with me, I might have kept moving. I don't know. There's 4 guys outside of me that are not in shanties, and I haven't seen anybody do anything, so I don't think I'm necessarily the only one here. I'm sure people have caught fish. I haven't seen a walleye come through on camera. I've only seen perch, and of the perch, maybe a dozen. We can do comments here real quick. Merlin, good morning. Rumble seat. There goes my GoPro battery. Caught one this morning, Bob. Kevin, good morning. Scott, good morning. Hook and eyes, sweet. Gonna get out later in the week if it holds up. Yeah, I don't know. This lake can't make up its mind whether it wants to be frozen or open. I'll tell you, down here in South Bay, because I drove all the way around. I drove around. I was gonna go to a buddy of mine's over in Muskrat Bay, but boy, that ice looked sketchy-er over there. So I'm like, well, I'll take a ride, and I drove around until I found a spot, and this was an easier walk out to deeper water. But morning, Eric. Paul Taylor, how you doing, buddy? Jim G. Good morning, Matt. Scratching that itch. Yeah, you ain't kidding. I'm trying to have, I got a bunch of stuff coming in the mail next week, and so I'm trying to be ready to go do something cool next weekend. I have a friend of mine up in Quinny on the Canadian side that is watching. He's a big ice fisherman, and they got him early ice, and they lost their ice like we did. So he's gonna keep me posted, and as soon as it's good, we're going north to film, and so I'll keep you posted on that. Scott the Gata, how's the boat search? Nothing new to update. Nothing new to update. Can you buy just the minnow heads, or do you have to pay for the entire minnow? Hey, Bob, you're gonna laugh, and so I'll do a quick shout out for Mike's Bait and Tackle in Brewerton. I stopped there this morning to get a thing of spikes, and the lady that was working there, older lady, so nice. You walk in, she's like, "Morning, darling," and it made me feel like my grandma was talking to me, And so I bought my spikes, and I go, "You don't happen to have any dead minnows, that you skimmed off the tank or anything that I can buy off you, or I'll take, a couple of them off you?" And she goes, "Well, you don't have to buy dead minnows." I go, "Because I'm just using the heads. I don't, if you don't have any, I'll buy minnows, but I didn't even have anything to put them in." I'm like, "You could have stuck them in a plastic bag, wouldn't have mattered." Anyway, she goes, "Nah, come on back." So she grabbed me a little cup, and I put a half dozen or a dozen dead minnows in there, and I just pinched the heads off. Not that it mattered today, but And this time of year, if you do buy live minnows, when the dead ones do die, I would put them in, I don't know if people have ever used that Plotsky bait dye. Comes in regular color, like clear, green, blue. I like the green, and I would take my minnows or after the day, because I'm not worried, like I say, I'm not worried about keeping them alive. I would put them right in there in a little brine solution in a little cup in that orange brine, and it dyes them, and it gives them some smell and whatnot, and you know, and it's something different that they haven't seen. My buddy Kevin Davis was one of the pioneers of that. He used to float colored minnows. They're still alive. He was fishing Oswego in those days in his drift boat. He was ahead of his time, no question. That kid could fish. He'd have blue minnows and he'd have green ones, and so just another thing to make it look a little different than everybody else's. Nikolai, Jim G, hope you make it north. Looking forward to those videos. Oh, we're going to go north. We're going to go north. Never heard of dyeing them before. Where are you right now? I just jumped on. I'm on the south shore, southwest shore. One other thing I want to say is the place where I parked, I'm not going to say it necessarily, but it's private property that they're really cool about. They let people park here, which seems crazy given where it is. But hey, good for them. But hey, guys, let's clean up after ourselves. Don't be a slob. This ain't your mother's house. I parked my truck, and from my truck through the little parking lot to the lawn where you walk down to the lake, I saw 4 different old hand warmers laying on the ground and a beef jerky bag. And come on, man. I mean, does anybody not know to pick up after themselves? And as fishermen, we give ourselves the worst possible name of anybody, saying, oh, those fishermen, because I've been to a lot of places and walked in places and streams and public access places, and there's worm containers and shit all over the place. And it's us leaving it around in the places that we go that we love because they're beautiful. So why would you make it disgusting? Pick up your trash. And especially when somebody is going out of their way to be nice to you and let you park somewhere which normally you wouldn't be able to, keep it clean. Seriously, keep it clean. Part of it is we got to police each other too, and sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. And if you can't pick up after yourself, then stay home. Don't throw shit all over, especially other people's place. Ice fishing access is hard enough. And this is why most people don't give ice fishermen access, is because they leave stuff. We're human beings. We leave shit all over the place. Pick up after yourself. Primer with salt and freeze them. It's not hard to pick up after yourself. Most people have been doing it their whole life. And when I go back in there, I'll pick up after everybody else, because I'd like to be able to park here over the winter. I don't know that everybody's jumping for joy as they're walking in. Doesn't seem like the most productive day on the ice ever. But who cares? Fishing's fishing. It's nice to be out here. The perch I did see responded beautifully. I caught a fish on my favorite lure, and I got to scratch the itch a little bit. Oh, for everybody that's going to ask, I had that I-1 blade bait in the front hole. In the front hole for vertical jigging, I think. We'll see. I sent the picture to Mike at I-1 Baits. I thought it was funny that My first fish of 2023 is going to be on an I-1 through the ice. Hey, maybe we're opening up a whole new market. Whatever the vibrational signature is, and the frequency or whatever, man, those fish like it. It doesn't matter where you are or what you do. Those fish like it. It's my little cup of dead minnows. They'll be green when I get home. I didn't bring it with me. How deep water are you working? I started up on 11 on the top of the drop off, and I'm in 14 now. Like I say, if this was an all day thing, we'd be punching holes and looking around, but it's not. I'm heading in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Not sure where or doing what, but I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a great Sunday. Pretty good games yesterday. Yeah, I was going to say goodbye. Pretty good games yesterday. I thought Jacksonville had chances, maybe not to win, but to. I mean, it was still close. It was a one-score game. You know, they shot themselves in the foot. That fumble in the red zone, you know, inside the 5 was a killer right at the end of the game, because they score that, everything changes, because their defense was holding Mahomes. And I'll tell you something about Patrick Mahomes. That kid showed how tough he was yesterday. Anybody that's ever played any kind of sports, an ankle turn like that, as severe as that was, and if you saw the replay, man, that ankle rolled. That whoever that defender was, full body weight on it, and it went just like this. Whoa! And I just went, oh God, that's gotta hurt. And you can see it on his face. And on the sideline, I give the kid a lot of credit. A lot of, you know, high-paid athletes would have checked out right there and said, I'm not going to risk anything else. But he's obviously team first, and he's tough. And at one point, you could see him on the sideline, and the camera guy got too close to his lips, and you could read his lips. And he's looking at Andy Reid, and who must have been the head trainer, both of them, and he goes, I'm not effing coming out of the game. And he put his helmet back on, and I was like, oh, now, eventually he did, and I'm sure somebody had to talk him off the cliff because he's the franchise player. And he did go back into the locker room, and Doug Henney, who I didn't even know was even still in the league, or even vaguely knew he was in the league to begin with, comes in, he's on the 2-yard line. The punt that Jacksonville has is just perfect. And so what's he do? the backup quarterback that I don't know if he's even played this year takes him 98 yards for a touchdown. That's huge. And, you know, turns out maybe that's the game winner. But that was a good game, and it was a good game. And both those young quarterbacks, you know, and both those teams are still young, and Jacksonville you're going to hear from in the future. That kid's got talent, and they got to get more of a running game around him. But and then I fell asleep during the late game. The Eagles got up 14 quick, and then the Giants didn't look nearly as sharp as they did against the Vikings. Although they did move the ball early, and they didn't do it. I woke up this morning and saw the score 38-7. That's a tough one. You know, Giants fans are licking their wounds today. But listen, you made it to the playoffs when you shouldn't have this year, and your team showed some real signs of life. So I got to think there's a lot of positives there for the Giants franchise going forward. And today, Bills-Bengals, that's going to be fun. I look forward to that game. That should be a good, fun game. And then Niners-Cowboys, we'll see. I think it's Niners all the way. I think they're going to roll the Cowboys, but we'll see. So that'll do it. Have a great Sunday. From the ice. For the first time in 2023. Keep your tip up.